All right, welcome. That's right, Jason. We have finally made it back. So Team Chat, don't never fear. We are here. Welcome to Wook Plus MSG recap, night two, Electric Avenue. Um, we've got our guy T Strong here coming straight live from a hotel in New York. We won't say we don't want paparazzi, we don't want people showing up at your door. So we're just gonna go ahead and say a hotel in the city of New York, the city that never sleeps. And so, how? Let's just say, I think we know how, but how was it tonight, buddy?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was man, you I hate judging last night compared to tonight, and everyone being like, "Oh, last night sucked compared to tonight." But last night was its own show, had its moments, whatever. Tonight, let's take it up a notch, right? Like let's they tonight they really held serve on their home court. Like last night was sort of that game one, feeling it out. Like it kind of ended in a tie, went into overtime, was kind of ugly. Tonight there was no question about it. Just domination from the get go.
30 point dub on this one.
Yeah.
Covered all the spreads, all those things for sure. So yeah, just an incredible night. And it also, I think what you're saying is such a great point, and it reminds us that when they're doing these runs, that it's really kind of as much as please, we want you to come back and watch us talk about every night, but it's important to remember that it's a package. It's not really, if you look at each night separately, you can get in trouble in some ways, but when you look at it like in some ways go, okay, if you look at first and second set last night separately from tonight, you go, yeah, man, it was a great show, but or you go, that's really set one, right? Or like the beginning of set one in some ways for you guys, and now you're getting into like the tonight was the meat of set one, right? And then like the set one closer of this run, right? And so you get the energy, right? You get the Susie to start off, which I know for you being this is such an interesting place for it, which I think it's a great place for it personally. I know you're not always a huge Susie guy, but I'm curious kind of how you took it here. And then she being in the crowd, how fun is that?
I mean, we always talk about that. I remember in college when I loved Susie's the song, when it was that rock and new song, and we used to talk about it like, man, I wonder if Susie's ever seen a show, and I wonder who real Susie is. Like, can you imagine being Susie? And then to see it tonight and see the picture of her, they got posted and stuff. You're like, holy crap, that's her. I had to send it to some of my old college buddies too from way back in the day. That's like, this is actually her. And they're like, no way. Like it was really one of those funny moments of that kind of thing. But I will say this: I even texted my crew back in Denver when they were playing Susie, and I was like, "How can anybody hate Susie?" Like I mean, it even got to me, and like in the one slot, just banging, just banging. So no complaints. I see her all the time. I've got a new love for her. I think I said it last night. I said it earlier today on the Age podcast too. That I'm not here to complain anymore. I'm here just to enjoy everything I get out of it. Like I said
Love
earlier,
that.
losing Charlie Watts last year, the Taylor thing earlier this year with Foo Fighters, it really makes you realize how lucky we are to take in every moment of this band right now. And that's why I don't like comparing last night to tonight or saying this song or that song. You know what I mean? Even Drift last night, I let go because I'm just not in the mood to bitch about things. And I'm back on the Susie train. I'm like, you know what? It's a good song. I'm back into it. It's for the remaining days. I'm all happy about everything. So I
Love.
thought that was a kick ass way to start the show.
I
Like just
whether right and whether you're a loving
fastball.
light guy like you now, Trav, clearly a loving light guy,
Right.
but also whether even if you're a skeptic, I think this is a great spot for Susie, right? Like the problem
Yep.
maybe in some ways is the placement for her because it's always kind of tacked on at the end of a set when you're going, did we really need that Susie? Right there. Where here it's like, oh man, that's a really perfect spot. Then you get 46 days,
And
which
the
I
crazy
thought,
thing, though, fam, too, real quick, is it's
yeah,
one of those things where we talked about it before. It's messing with the set list. Like there's no rhyme or read. Like they did a fall tour. Like let's just throw this here. Let's throw this here, and it makes it so much more fun and fresh. And you know what I mean? It's kind of unexpected, and you're like, oh, let's see how this worked. Oh, this worked great. That kind of thing. And while we love a bag or a tube or whatever to open, first two to open or that kind of thing, a little bit different or something out of the box, especially like a Susie, is fun and different and yeah, it totally worked. So yeah.
Yes, and so I think what I noticed too is that I made plenty of notes of just like the new set list configurations, inverted set, lots of different
Hmm.
things. So no doubt, no doubt. You get this 46 days, right? Oh, I was gonna say that maybe they played Susie for Susie since it was her first show, the way I understand it, right? Supposedly, which I'm sure is maybe true, but maybe they played it for her first, just in case that was the only song she would see. Like she was like, "Oh my god, these guys are terrible." These guys, like, she's like, "I don't even care if they have a song about
she's
me."
got
Like,
she's got kids at home. She had to leave at set break, so they had to get it in there.
exactly. Get it, don't bury it in the second set. She's like, Jesus, I
Right,
have to sit through this band all night. Awesome.
right, right.
So you get 46 days, and I'm honestly pretty. I think 46 days is great energy, good fun. It kind of fit
No,
in
and a
that
great second song. I mean, you kind of set again,
fire.
setting the tone for the night. You're like, oh man, two bangers out the gate, kind of like last night. But again, like great. 46 Days always is a great tune. It brings it kind of gets you going. So
Yeah, this is a pretty good question, Trav.
Benz, I'm an old man.
I love it. Hey, I won't mention our private chat that was, let's go, man. I need a shower. I'm tired, dude. What are you doing? Let's
I'm
go. No,
like,
I
are we
want
doing this? I smell bad. I just literally walked in the hotel from the show and having my balloons. But yeah, all the other boys are out. Trust
I
me, the boys
know.
got the kids
God
out
love them.
tonight.
God love them. And here's what I'm glad you avoided the secondhand balloon guy. I don't know what we're gonna call
Yeah,
him, but I'm
I
glad,
saw him too blowing up balloons. And I was like, is he gonna really sell those later? Because that's a hell of a scam.
dude. It's so
So bad,
bad, so
so
bad.
bad, so bad.
Speaking
And
of,
also, I
but
will want to say
plasma.
one thing
Go.
real quick. The real reason I'm not out party tonight is we have a big day tomorrow. Fan art, broadcasting live. We're doing our thing. We got great guests. I want to be on point tomorrow. I want to make sure my A game is there because tomorrow is a long day. We have that fan art thing, and then we have the 3-set show. So old man needs a little rest.
Love that. Well, Benz and Noogie, they don't think you're old at all. So you're young at heart. That's what we
Young at
know.
heart.
Exactly. And fan art tomorrow. My gosh, please, everybody go and check us out. Check out the table. Check out just what incredible stuff Pete gets
Everybody that's
going
going to
in
be
there.
there. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and then come visit the Wook Plus crew. And we're gonna say that about hopefully 5 more times. So you get plasma, right? Which got into
Oh,
some very
God.
interesting space, really cool
Love that
jam.
song.
That
Love
song's
that
really
song.
kind of found its way into a pretty regular rotation, but
Yep.
I now where some of these songs I'm going already, ooh, it's getting a little repetitive, a little 2009-ish, like we talked
Mm-hmm.
about yesterday, where I'm still not sick of plasma. Keep playing plasma
No. Ugh.
all day. This
Yeah.
is the next one. How about this one? How about the man who stepped into yesterday? Alvinu
Oh,
Malkenu. Super fun. How
I
great.
mean, when you get those kind of things, it's just, again, it's that special night. It's that, like, holy crap, like, okay, we just got that tonight. How nice, like, very special, very different. And yeah, very, one of those moments I was glad that this kept coming up to me tonight, but one of those moments that I was very glad I was in the building. Like, this is one of those shows that I'm used to seeing on the West Coast and being like, I hate the East Coast. Why do they always get these banging shows? Like, this would be one of the shows I would love to see. And so tonight it felt good to be in the crowd and be like, I'm one of those East Coast biased fuckers tonight. Like,
Oh
like it really,
man.
it had that feeling. Like, this was the MSG show I've always wanted to see. Let's just say that. Like, I got my New Year's a couple years ago, which was fun, but this felt like an MSG show. This is what I've always dreamed of type show, like it
Love
really
that.
just,
Love that, dude.
yeah.
That's a great point. Like you're right. Like yeah, because I've never done MSG yet, so I still need to have that moment. But yeah, so it's where the jealousy isn't jealousy. It's actually like someone gets to be jealous of me for once, right?
Right. You're like, oh, this is what it feels like to be a part of one of these awesome shows that
No,
I'm
no
always
wonder
jealous
they're
of.
so conceited, right?
Right. Like, hell, if I lived over here and saw this kind of show all the time, I'd be an asshole too. I'd be like, yeah, West Coast sucks. Screw you
There you
guys.
go. There you go. So then you get an awesome. Oh well, Mike also just destroyed this Avino Volcano. By the way, absolutely
Yes.
destroyed it. Ridiculous.
And I would like to say too, I thought tonight, the whole band was tighter tonight, but on that note, I thought tighter but looser. You know what I mean? I felt like there was a looseness to their tightness tonight. Like, I really felt like they were
No,
playing with their hearts tonight, but it was like a lot tighter. And Mike was one of those moments that he was like in tune all night. And watching him, especially during the Tweezer Jam, which we'll get to, but man, he was in it, just watching him having fun and like doing his thing. It was, yeah, I
big
agree.
MVP today from Mike. No doubt, no doubt. This Wolfman's,
Oh,
Trey starts to
jeez.
get into lots of effects. This goes about 14 minutes. It goes pretty deep. That kind of seems to be a slot that Wolfman's finding itself is in that late first set spot, and it's always good. I mean, it literally is always, and it always gets underrated, right? Because it's 14 minutes, it's in the back end of the first set, you forget about it, and then you're listening to that show because you're like, oh, that DC Night One, Deer Creek Night One
Mhm.
has a great Wolfman's at the in the first set, but you forget it because the second set's so great, but this is another example of where it's just a wonderful
Shredding, like just
no
shredding, just shredding that
all the
thing.
effects. He just starts to really kick. I think he's kind of laid, for me, Trey has laid off some of the effects at now. He's using them, but he's picking and choosing his times, where it almost felt like at the end and in the fall, and not to get complaining about the fall at all, but there were times when you were kind of ready for that effect. You were ready for the Scooby-Doo legs. You were ready for it just always kind of came in, and you were ready for it. Where now it's like when it does hit, it's like, man, that's perfect. And this next one, come on, Esther. Anytime you get a chance to see Esther. Now I know you're an older school guy who's seen a lot of shows, young at heart, of course, but an older school guy.
Right.
And I'm curious, like, did you see a lot of Esters, or is this pretty rare for you
No,
too? Okay.
no, it's pretty rare for me.
Yeah.
And I'd like to just say Tim's comment or tweet was hilarious. That was like, "Is Esther in the building tonight too?" I thought that was to go with Susie. I thought that was very funny. Like
Oh man, so clever. That guy. It's very
that guy,
clever.
he's always bringing it. But yeah, no, not really. Like that's one of those songs that I haven't gotten a lot of, And I think tonight was really a 1.0 show at heart. Like it really had a lot of that energy and song list. And I mean, we'll get to in a minute, but that second set was just a burner. Like it didn't stop. It felt very 1.0 ish. Like the slowest song was about to run until the encore. And he shredded it. So, yes. And it was again, man who stepped into yesterday and an Esther. Like it was a very special,
Kind of old
you're getting
schooly.
those songs that you're not always,
Felt
those moments.
felt old schooly a little bit in the right. And then again, Trey and pay all you guys at Phish Inc. We appreciate you again paying attention to Wook Plus, watching Wook Plus, participating in the brackets. You played Reba last night. You played Ghost tonight. Now, if we were stacking the two versions up, I think I know where I would vote, and maybe it's recency bias, but my gosh, this Ghost is really fun and really just
Again, just
laser
I
beams.
mean,
Just
I sent it to the guys in our little MSG thread earlier that's why it was the champ this year. I mean that right there, it just it literally dropped the mic, took the belt, and walked off the stage with that Ghost. Like, sorry, Reba, that was why it won right there.
exactly.
So,
I brought out
you
Aretha so we could put some respect on Ghost's name, friends. Put
I
some
love it.
respect on it. I got this actually from Host of G, my friend Host of G, Tyler. He's a
Nice.
wonderful guy. Yeah, I sent this to me. No, I just really appreciate it. I don't have a cassette tape player anymore,
Deck.
sadly. I want to buy one now that I have
Still
that
gonna walk.
cassette. But really amazing first set, right? Just really
Yeah.
incredible stuff. Exactly, Dirty, a victory lap, no doubt, for
Totally.
Ghost.
And I felt like that too. You got done with that first set, and it was very much one of those, wow, that was everything I wanted out of first set. And then you have those moments during intermission, like, does it keep going up, or do we get that second set of, oh god, that first set was so money, and then the second set was such a bleh. But
And
no.
here's what's crazy, right? I mean, that's the really interesting thing, and I think this is also a kind of common, and not common enough to make it, boring yet in any way, but the way this second set kind of inverts in my mind, to me, like it does come out of the gate like you knew right off the bat, like we were still in the zone, because you come in with this chalk dust, and this chalk dust maybe like I don't know. It may be the best jam yet, of any of these. It goes 18 minutes. I wrote down an ether jam, it like knockout
Hmm.
shit. One punch. Just like
Yep.
nasty and good. Oh, and the other thing that it's really doing is this is consistently happening. Also, again, is they end Chalk Dust the song, then the jam, right? Like it's not an extended, we never finish Chalk Dust, or it's not a bring it back at the end
Right.
after we've jammed it, for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. It's play the song and then play the jam, which I think is really interesting. And that's a better way to me personally, or at least fun to see a different way.
No,
And then
definitely.
come
And
on.
go ahead. Yes, bring
No,
it.
please
Because
go.
yeah, this is what I want to talk about. Go ahead.
The
Bring
tweezer,
it.
come on.
Mm.
The tweezer. I didn't even, I just wrote Jesus Christ on one of my notes. Sorry, Chris, we love you, Father Chris. I don't mean to blasphemy, but that's all I had. I just,
No, that
oh,
was that
yeah,
was
go ahead.
that was just.
You're
I
in the
mean,
building.
the
Yeah.
chalk dust coming out of that, like opening the second set with that. You're like, okay, they're picking up right where we left off. Fantastic, let's go. And then that jam was again that jam. But then when they went in that tweezer, the crowd, of course, home court favorite song, like it hits the crowd, the wave of the energy kicks in, and then that jam, that tweezer jam is everything I love about Phish. Like just blissful, beautiful, Trey in the zone, just going. I mean, I looked at my fiance Alex and I was like, this is everything I love
Uh,
about this band right here. Like this is the lights. It was just perfect. It was that to me. That was like to me that was the Carini jam of the fall tour, which was my favorite jam. That tweezer jam was like that. I think that'll probably be my favorite jam of the weekend. Like that was just it was everything to me. And then coming out of that and going into 2001, you're like, holy moly, like it's just not stopping. What are they doing? Like you can't get off this train. We're on it. It was fantastic.
yeah, I mean, and I literally I put in our thread with some friends and I wrote down on my notes. It was like a warm hug, that tweezer jam to me,
It
like.
was, and it just cozied up to you. It just
Ugh.
yeah.
And when it turns, and I think that's another thing that they've really just got down is how to kind of go into those bliss turns, like
Mm-hmm.
you said with some of these Carinis, which I think I do get some of the smoke that some folks give it in the sense that maybe they don't want their Carini so blissed out, they
I
want that kind of
understand. Some songs you
evil.
want dirty and dark. I
Yeah.
get it, and definitely. But I get that. On the
But when
flip
they're
side,
so
I'm a,
good at
I'm
these
a
blisters, I mean, when they're
yeah.
so good at these type of turns like this, it's like I don't
Yeah,
even
and I'm
know.
a blissful and I'm a peak builder kind of guy. I'm a like give me the peaks and the highs and the stuff, or give me that blissful, blissed out, just happy jam to make me smile. It's
Then to
great. And even
right,
in that 2001 got funky. We were getting down. Like I remember,
the
again looking
lights.
over at my fiance Alex, and she was boogieing. I was like, that's how I know it's going well. It's like when she's starting to get down, I'm like, all right, this show's moving. So that was fun. That was really fun.
Isn't that I love that. Having someone who, again is I think sometimes it's always a little anxious when you have someone who's totally new, right? Who's like never seen a show or that you really want them to like it. I think it's really great, when you've got that, person who you go with that it's not like with us, my Deanna's a lot
Right,
like that, where it's not, we're, no one is kind of like us, right? We're a little obsessive. We're here on
right.
YouTube at, 11:53, 12:53 your time, buddy. So, but just seeing someone like that really just going off and having a blast and really the light switching on, is
And to
so
your
cool.
point, you worry about how someone else is enjoying the show. You don't want it to affect your show, but you're like, are they having a good time? Does this work for them? You know what I mean? And I've never felt that way. She understands what it means to me and like sees the joy in my face that's going on, and that gives her enough joy to like be like, oh my god, he loves it. And so she just kind of joins in, and then to see her starting to get into it and like loving those songs and like
Love
like
that.
Stash last night, like, oh, Stash is now on my list of songs I love, like things like that. You're like, yes. So
Right.
yes,
It
it's a
becomes
good
about
thing.
now her experience and not just kind of living vicariously,
Right,
seeing you have joy, like having her own joy through some of it.
right.
Yeah,
She did
exactly.
already tell me though. she's not going Saturday night. She's like, 4 nights is too much. She's like, I'm out Saturday. I'm like, that's fine. I totally
because
understand.
Alex is a normal human being. Not, she's a smart and
Right.
a capable and normal human being that would not do what we do. Like this is
Yeah,
crazy.
exactly.
Maze, come on, Maze late in the second set,
Ugh.
right?
Fam, there
Always,
was so much 1.0 love tonight. Like, it was just one of those shows that I personally just love because of that. Like, there was
it was an old
so much
schooler.
1.0, and that maze just, there was, again, if we want to get technical and crazy, we can still talk about there was flubs tonight. There was a little bit of roughness in some of these songs, and there was some of, I don't know if you could see it, but there was on the webcast, but CK5 missed a few cues tonight too, which is so weird. I noticed it last night too, and
Yeah.
tonight I wasn't really worried about last night, but it's becoming. I don't know if it's the way they're playing, but during 2001 he missed a cue, and then another time, a couple other times tonight, he missed a couple cues and came early with a light. Um, he brought the white lights in too early on one of the last songs and brought him up, and then had to bring him down and then brought him up again, and it was really. I'm like, man, is he just not? I don't know what's going on. It was just weird, but there's definitely been a little bit of flubbiness in there, and I thought Maze, while jammy and felt very 1-0 and got there, it still had a little bit of, there was a couple hiccups in there that we hit, but I mean, I'm a Maze stan. I mean, it's in my Twitter bio of, Hall of Cavern of Shame and Hall of Dismay is right there. I love that song, so I'll
It's
take it
so
anywhere I can
good.
get
It's
it.
so good. And I wrote down, I mean, I'm wondering if, and Dan here is agreeing with you, right? So it
Yeah,
sounds like he saw notice he was in the building too, or maybe, was watching
on the
closely.
cast, but yeah,
Yeah.
there was a few for sure.
Yeah. And I'm curious, and at the end of this maze, I mean, he really hits some of those fast notes that make you like, oh, kind of, get your brain going. Oh, damn, that's got like some big 94 vibes, to it, 93 vibes. You're going, oh shit,
When he
like,
turned a page though and just sat there, did they show it on the webcast when he was just
yes.
watching and him and Paige were just, that was beautiful. Like that brought me back too. Like that was so fun. Like just to see those two and like his back to the other two just going with Paige and they were just in that zone flying, man. That was just,
Yeah.
oh, that was great. That was
It's
great.
funny. I wrote Paige and Trey Love Fest at
Yes.
one point through here
Yes.
because there was a lot of that. A lot of that. About to Run comes in after Maze, and I think Steve. Have you ran into Steve? Hung out with Steve yet?
Yeah.
Lots of
I
our
saw, well, briefly, very, very quickly, but yeah.
so much crew there. I know it's so
Yeah.
amazing and it's so cool to see. But
But
yeah,
that was our slowdown song, and I will take that as the slowdown song any day of
I
the week.
I brought
Like
him up
that
because he
song.
mentioned down Twitter, like, where's the ballads at? Like, if we didn't hit a ballad, like until what the encore,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
the
yeah,
encore. In
yeah.
some
The
ways,
encore.
like I mentioned, a Vino Malcano is a religious song about repentance, or whatever. So I don't know if that's a ballad or not, but there's a Mango song, which, and this goes back to kind of, to me, it's an inverted set, right? Because like
Mm-hmm.
all the nasty was right at the beginning, and then not bad versions, really actually good versions of all these songs, but they're more, to me, like short, kind of hit, quick
Mm-hmm.
hitters. The
Mm-hmm.
Mango's great, but again, and super fun. There's a lot of, I'm curious what happened during Hood and what it sounded like during here. So Hood comes out, which again, it's like, now this show is really, it just keeps coming. Like you said,
It
here
just keeps
comes Hood.
going. Yeah,
Hood, right? You go,
yeah,
oh, maybe it's over after Mango, and they really kind of stretch Mango out, or they do, nah, like, here
right.
comes Hood. Um, so at first, did Mike say Kung? People, this is a little bit of a controversy that's happening, because Mike, there was two different little moments, two or three, where Mike just randomly said something which resembled Kung, but I felt like it was like Kump, or I've heard, I don't know, I don't want to get too R-rated here, but I've heard people saying he just was flat out saying come. Like, I can't, it makes more sense. Yeah, Dirty's with me. He's like, hey, he heard it say it twice. I can't figure out if he says Kung. That makes the most sense. But did you hear it in
Mhm.
the building?
No, no, I did not hear it in the
Isn't
building.
that
I will
funny?
say
They
that.
sneak those
Yeah,
little things in there that you're into zone, you're jamming, you're into dance mood, and you don't even, that just goes into the
right
ether.
by you. And I will say the mix in the building is a little. I think people were talking about it yesterday too. It's a little. I'm interested to. I can't wait to listen to it back because every time you listen to it back, it always sounds so much better, than like when you're actually there. Because like you said, between the crowds and the interference and all this stuff, but their mix is like really. It's been low. Like their vocals are very. It's hard to pick them up sometimes in that building, and I don't know what that is, but I'm interested to listen back so I can actually hear some of that. So
Interesting. But the
yeah.
hood is wonderful. I wrote
Oh, when
if
isn't
you're
it?
if anyone's lips were chapped, they're not chapped anymore in that place because they all got Blistex
Oh
from the
God,
Blistex jam
the
from
Hood
the
Bliss is
hood.
just the Reba
Um,
Bliss and then the Hood Bliss tonight. I mean, it's just bliss,
it's
bliss,
all
bliss.
blissy, which is great. Again, it's a good vibe. It's the vibe it should be coming out of what we've
Yep,
all come out of. Like it
yep.
should be happy. It's okay. Like we'll get to a dark. Maybe we don't want to get to a dark place. Again, we all want these kind of evil, darky, jams. Let's be careful what we're wishing for here.
Right. Let's take the light side for a little bit. We've had enough darkness for a little
Yeah,
bit. Let's
yeah,
enjoy it.
no
But then you
doubt.
think Hood's it. Like I thought for sure that I was like, great way to close the set. Typical Hood. Like let's just I'm ready. I'm ready
Crazy.
for give me the encore with a reprise and whatever else you're gonna double it with.
Well,
I'm ready to
how about
go.
an encore with a zero and a reprise, right? And
Well,
then
then
it
they
ends
just
up
they
really
just drop a
being
zero. You're like, oh, it's not over yet. Okay, let's
and
rock
and
this
I'll tell
thing
you,
out.
and I don't know if you noticed on Live Fish how they listed it. Live Fish actually listed it as zero tweezer, actually as a full back into tweezer zero, which that's sketchy. I don't know that.
I mean, he did go into it, but they didn't continue it. He went into it, and then he kind of went into the tweezer jam again. He hit that bliss part of the tweezer jam, and then went back into zero. So
Agreed.
it was real because that was where the crowd really went nuts. Like he went nuts to hear tweezer come back, but then he hit that blissy jam in there, and you're like, oh shit, he went right to that. Wow, and then he went
Yeah.
back into zero, and you were like, okay, he's having fun.
Right. Because it's almost like, oh, it was just a little tease, So you're like, oh, that's cute. And then you're like, oh shit, is he going like fully back into it? Like, all right, man. Like, am I hit some sort of time warp here where we're going back to Tweezer, which is great.
Right. Well, then you're thinking, are they just going to reprise it now and give us a totally different encore? Which I was like, that would be sweet. Like reprise to end the set, then let's do a mics or something to do that encore. Like let's really knock it out of the park. But he just kind of teased it a little and then saved it for the encore. But that's fine too.
Yes, 100%, 100%. And that's what's kind of actually cool a little bit about it, right? Is that you didn't get zeroed in the encore, right? You got zeroed,
Right.
kind of you tacked it in there at the end.
Which
Then
was
the
a good place for it because it was, coming out of that hood. Nobody really wanted it to end yet, so why not throw that in there? It's a great rocking song
perfect
to end it with. So yeah,
Susie at the top and zero at the bottom there is really solid,
yep,
spots for both of them.
yep.
Then Encore's Life Beyond a Dream, which whenever this happens, I want Kev to be around just so that I control him and say, Ghost of the Forested, which doesn't really flow well, but I still want to say it to him. I will say, I don't, this song does mention stallions, so that I don't love that either. Personally, I'm not a big horse guy, as I've talked about, but this
Uh-huh.
song all of these songs I'm concerned about the placements, right? And I don't want to hear we're being positive on the show. We just talked about it earlier, right? It's positivity. Just be careful of placement and be right, and be careful of repetition, right? Like it's we all, I think anyone with a soul, Kev, who I love, I think he also has a soul, but for some reason he just turns it off for Ghost of the Forest. Right? Um, has a soft spot for that album and the songs and who, like what it means, but just be careful, Trey. That's all we're saying.
Yeah, and it's one of those, it's I'm not going to complain about it for one because we said about the positivity thing, but also because we didn't get a ballad all show. Like that was so I felt like Trey needed to put that in there. Like he never got it in during the show, so it was like, okay, I'm going to come out with the encore, give him something slow. I think partly too his voice was a little rough coming in there too. Like it was a little harsh at the beginning of that song, so I was like, man, did he blow his voice out there in the last song? And that's part of the reason we had to have this slower, mellowish,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But
That's a good point. I did write that down.
it's
He did flub that beginning, and it was almost
yeah,
like and I've been there too. Like anyone that now he sings professionally and at a high,
Right.
so much higher level and like what I do in any way. But I also this guy, Jason, he's not this guy. I totally, but I would also say, like, at this point, when you've sung a whole lot in your life, sometimes you literally just open your mouth for words to come out and they just don't come out, you know, like you need,
Yeah.
like you just got this like frog in your throat and you need it, you know, and it's just like, nothing happens. And really, when you're performing live like that really, when it's supposed to come there and it don't, like that messes the whole song up, the whole thing, you know. So
Yeah.
I, but it's a beautifully played song, and then you,
Yeah, it is, and it's again, it's like Drift. It's like, oh, do we want to hear this now? Is it like really what you want for the encore? And Reprise is on deck, so you're kind of just like, whatever you're gonna give me, you're hoping it's a little elevated, but like you'll take it because it is a
yeah,
beautiful song, and there's people out there that do like it and appreciated it where it was. So
yeah. Well,
good
and
for
that's
them,
like
and they
we
got what
said,
they wanted.
and back to what we were talking about, no ballads, all, I mean, all killer, no filler, all the way throughout, first and second set, like part of you goes, like whatever you get encore wise, right? You go, you're happy, and you knew the Tweet Prize was coming, and it was great, and the
And
building
the
just
funny
kind
thing
of
is too, though,
exploded.
with so much 1.0 in it, you think to yourself like, well, if this truly was a 1.0, what would be in that encore slot normally? Like, what would they have thrown in there if we didn't have Ghost of the Forest these days or something to then go into that reprise? Would it be like a Lizards, or would it be something fun that like, kind of hits it, or like a Day in the Life, something like that they used to like encore a lot
Yeah,
with, and then
Loving
give you
Cup,
that
maybe
reprise.
Loving Cup, right? That's the
Exactly,
one
Loving
because
Cup
the tweezer,
tweezer. Right,
right?
right. Something
So
like that just keeps it going. So you're kind of like, again, you have all these songs now and these ballads from him and stuff that you're just like, damn it, they're taking away from these other songs that I'd rather have in this slot, but you have to appreciate it for what they are and what they're doing with it. So, it
100%,
is what it is.
100% for sure.
And then you get
So,
reprise. So,
and you
you
always
get,
get rewarded with the reprise eventually. So, right. So it's always
yeah.
all good there at the end. So again, it felt like the energy was through the roof. It was coming through the screen. I'm telling you, man,
I'm
I
glad because
can't,
there's moments in there where like the crowd just starts screaming, in certain moments
dude.
of the song, and you're just like, wow, like this place is it just hits a little different. The energy's a little through the roof, and it's a special venue. I will say that it's very fun, and they're playing to it, just like they always do. So I'm very excited to
100%.
see what tomorrow brings. That's for sure. I mean,
Yes. Dang it. I meant
so,
to. Oh, I changed that. I didn't mean to do that. I'm playing
so
with the
yeah.
buttons over here.
Oh boy.
Well, I wanted
Oh
to hit
boy.
this button one time live. One time. Here you go. Just since I may never get
Do it.
controls again. And since he's not here, we'll do it in his honor. Okay. And then I got to do this also too. The
The
cool,
thing in the back.
music to take us out.
One more time, fam, hit us up with fan art tomorrow. Don't forget, if you guys aren't in New York, watch it on Wook Plus. We will be live from 2 to 4. We got some great guests. We got Benji Eisen. We got Greg Knight. We'll be giving away some goose tickets to some of the shows. We got Tom and we got RJ from Osiris coming on. We're going to have a blast. If you're here, come down and see us. We'll be giving away some slaps and some other things. So come see us. It'll be fun. And
Amazing. The best
another
party
great show on
tomorrow.
tap.
Exactly. The best pre-show party tomorrow to get it going. So see everybody at Fan Art tomorrow. Like and subscribe. Wook Plus. And we love you. And we will see
Thanks
you.
for watching. We'll do another recap tomorrow, man.
That's right.
Take care.
See you guys soon. Get some sleep, brother.
Thanks, buddy.